Hey mathematicians, how are you? Glad you're back. Today we are going to continue our learning with graphs. So our last lesson we focused on pictographs. Today we are going to use what we know about those pictographs to solve and compare different types of problems. So go ahead and read today's target with me. Here we go. I can solve and compare, put together, and take apart problems using information from a picture graph, or we can also call it a pictograph. So we're going to solve different problems and we're going to compare. Remember, compare is looking at things that are similar, and contrast is looking at things that are, that's right, different. I want you to look at this pictograph right here. Our buddy old pal Puzzled Penguin made that pictograph. And he says that the same number of children picked science and math as their favorite subject. So he surveyed a group of kids and he asked them, what's your favorite subject to learn about in school? Then he took his survey data. I hope you had a chance to do that like we talked about in our last lesson. And he took his data and he turned it into a pictograph. So this is the pictograph that he made. He says that the same number of children picked science and math as their favorite subject. Do you agree with Puzzled Penguin? Or do you disagree? I want you to pause the video now and I want you to jot down on a piece of paper, I agree because, or I disagree because. If you have an adult, a friend, a sister, a dog, a cat nearby, you can turn and tell them, I agree with Puzzled Penguin because, or maybe, I disagree with Puzzled Penguin because. Baby Dean, I disagree with Puzzled Penguin because. So I want you to write somewhere or tell someone, do you agree or disagree that math and science have the same number of kids who chose it as their favorite subject? Pause the video now so you can jot that thinking down and then come right back so we can continue together. All right, so what did you decide? I agree. Math and science don't have the same number of kids that like both math and science. Now, if that's what you think, what could Puzzled Penguin do differently to help him compare math and science a little more accurately and correctly? What could he have done? That's right. If he more carefully lined up every single symbol and every single icon that he used, he would see that there's actually one more student who likes math than science. He accidentally spread out his smiley faces so they looked like they were the same amount of kids, but they weren't, just because he had more space between these smiley faces here. So take this tip for making your own pictographs today, mathematicians. When you write and draw symbols and icons for each category, make sure they are lining up and taking up the same amount of space for each one so that you don't make the same mistake Puzzled Penguin did. Okay, on your piece of paper, on your whiteboard, on your sticky note, on the back of a cereal box, the bottom of a tissue box, whatever you can find, I want you to jot down the answers to these two questions. Get ready. If you need to grab something, pause the video now. All right. How many students enjoy science as their favorite subject? How many students enjoy science as their favorite subject? Next question. How many students did Puzzled Penguin survey all together? How many students did Puzzled Penguin go around and ask this question to all together? All right, last one, I'm going to give you a challenge. How many more students like math than art as their favorite subject? How many more students like math than art as their favorite subject? All right, the first question. How many students like science as their favorite subject? Your answer is 5. That's correct. Right here you can see 5 smiley faces to represent 5 students. Way to go. Number 2, how many total students did Puzzled Penguin survey? Well, here's what I did. I saw that right here there's a 5 and a 5 that are equal. That's a combination to 10. 1 more up here is 11, and 3 down here is 14. Did you get 14? He surveyed a total of 14 students. All right, nice job. Last question. How many more students like math than art? Because they're not right next to each other, it's a little bit tricky. But if with your eyes you draw a line, you can see math and art are tied here. Math and art are tied here. And math and art are tied here. So how many more students like math than art? That's right. 3 more students prefer math as their favorite subject than art. Nicely done, mathematicians. Way to go. Way to go. Way to go. Okay, so in today's work, you are going to be solving and working on problems just like that. So you're going to be looking at survey data, turning it into a pictograph like we talked about yesterday. You are going to be answering questions using that survey data. Now remember, there are 2 places where you can find practice pages to practice this skill. So your first choice is find your orange handy dandy workbook that looks like this somewhere around your house. And if you find that, you are going to work on pages 143, 144 today. If you don't have that, or you would prefer something different, I want you to go to our Google Classroom, click on 2nd grade math, and when you click on classwork at the tippy top, you will find Unit 5. Which unit are we in? Unit 5 workbook pages. The Unit 5 workbook pages that go along with this lesson are pages 233 and 234. Now, you don't have to do both. You can if you're up for the challenge, but you don't have to do both. So either choose your homework and remembering pages or the workbook pages you can find in our Math Google Classroom. Now, as an optional activity, you can take a picture of that work, which your teachers would sure love to see, and post it to Seesaw. Save it to our math folder so that we can see the work you do today with a really clear caption explaining what you worked on and what your target was today. You don't have to do this, but it sure would be awesome to hear from you and see that fantastic math thinking. So that's up to you, mathematicians. What your teachers do expect is that you are working hard, doing your best, and learning new things. Do you think that you met the target today? Do you think that you solved and compared problems using information from a pictograph? We sure got started together comparing information and data that you have, but I can't wait to see your practice of this target as you move on to the practice pages that are either in your workbook or Google Classroom. Rewind the video just a teeny bit if you forget which pages those were. Have a great day, mathematicians. See you next time. Can you guys say bye?
Bye.